Hey everyone, patch notes of the nerfs and buffs just came out. I might have seen me talk a little bit on stream or in some of the YouTube videos for just guides, but now they're all officially out and they're down exactly. And I just want to talk about them and tell you what I think about them. So we got Celestial Alignment, setting your mana crystal to 0, set the cost of your cards or hand and deck to 1. So this doesn't do it for your opponent now. So in theory, you could still do a big pop-off turn the next turn, and if you have some crazy Anacondra win the game play. So in theory, this is still playable. That being said, it's probably terrible. But I don't think this is completely objectively worse. It just in all 99% of the situations, it's worse. So, but that being said, this card seems to not die. But I think it will die. I think finally we'll see Ramp Druid and other sort of value-based druids be the primary form of druid, unless this anti-combo alignment build, which I'm a fan of the change. The next is the Stag Spirit Wildseed. Now is equipping a 3/2 Great Bow. This is a great change, and I really like about this change is just very incremental. This card, this Wildseed is a little too strong in my opinion. It's a little bit more powerful than the other two. I mean, a little bit by a lot of it, and now it's just a little bit. So it's not the situation where it's the card is, the Wildseed still cards are still going to be very, very strong, but this one in particular won't be. It's just a slight power adjustment, which I think is ideal. What's really hard about some cards is that you can't get slight power adjustments. You get massive power adjustments, but this is just a slight one, which I think is really great. The next one is the opposite. Is Snowball Guardian. Is Battlecry freeze all their minions. This makes this card as a tempo card terrible. It makes Macaw absolutely really worse. You can't get a 10/10 out of this. And the reality is that the problem is when you usually use this to leverage and then push to swing back the board. Problem is there's no tempo swing, it's just delaying. So what you do is you freeze a bunch of turns, I put a bunch of taunts in the way, and then you eventually lose. So I think the Control Shaman archetype is dead. So something else could come around. So maybe Bioluminescence might be a thing, because then you don't need to get through your opponent's board, you can clear it. Who knows? Shaman does have a lot of still strong things going for it, but this is massive. So Shaman could easily drop down to tier 4. Now, the Evolve sort of maybe tempo styles might exist, but this is a huge, huge nerf and is one of the biggest nerfs of the year, I'd say. So Shaman might be a dead class. It might survive. I'm really not sure, but I think builds will have to change. Vial Library, we have old, give a friendly minion +1/+1, repeat each for imp control, and new, give a minion +1/+1 for each imp control. This is a massive nerf, I think, even though it looks really small. Not being able to give, +2/+2 on your flame imp or something like that is a big deal. That being said, this card is still probably good, and still obviously makes the cut an imp lock. But I think this is a lot bigger nerf than, for example, the Wildseed. But I think a very appropriate nerf. But still, because Implog is still a very dominant tempo deck, but it's a thing of it is quite strong, and it could definitely, but on one end, this is a lot of work. On another end, Snowball Guardian's going down, but there are new control decks probably coming back. We got more coming up. But next we got Cubistlusion. This is a wild change. I'm not going to react to this one. I'm not but I know there's some broken stuff happening in wild. And then we have the Relic Vault. The next relic you play costs 2. Cast plays twice. Relics are terrible, so this is probably a change that tries to make this card relics more playable. I still don't think relics are going to be good. But it's a change that might make things easier. And then you have Relic Extinction, dealing 1 damage to every 1 damage to 2 random minions. So maybe these two changes in combination can make relics a little bit more playable. Next we've got Bibliotome, a 4 attack to a 5/4. I think the reality is, just a 2-mana 4/4 just doesn't cut it with a downside in Hearthstone in 2022. So they're making it 2-mana 5/4. Maybe it will cut it. But this is the next one I'm very surprised on. Not necessarily bad. Magnifying Glass, every hero attacks draw until you have 3 cards. It's a massive buff. And this, maybe I think What's hard is these small hand size cards decks have always really struggled, and occasionally they can make it, but you really need a really broken card, and maybe this will be the really broken card that carries it. I'm not sure, but it's definitely something that the deck needs. And having 3 attack, massive difference. It means you equip it, kill a 2/3 on turn 2 or something like that if you're in something. So makes a big difference. And next we got Bissell Dust, draw your 2 lowest cost minions. I didn't see this one coming. The other vote card seemed terrible, so 4 mana, draw 2 minions, just not cutting Hearthstone 22. This seems much more power appropriate. I really like this buff. Battle of Vanguard back to 2/2. I like this. Right now, for a while when Demon Hunter was dominant, but now we have 40 health decks, and we have so many more better tempo decks. So this card, not nearly as power broken as it was in the last expansion. So I think it's a really good nerf revert to bring this card back to a 2/2. This one I didn't was surprised about. Eyebrow Brute costs 1 less for each card drawn this turn. Yeah, I think people will be excited about this one. I never really thought Brute was that OP. It was, not as reliable. So this it's a card that's a lot of fun for combo players. So I think this will be a really exciting card. I like that they revert this. So yeah, and then we've got this legendary invitation from the Countess. Discovered another legendary minion cost 0, so this is a little bit cheaper. The Silver Stand Against Darkness, I think a great change. 5 mana, this is just not making the cut. 5 mana cards need to win the game, and 4 mana, it looks a lot more playable. You've got +2 attack and taunt. This is a huge buff, so maybe the Silverhand stuff can make a comeback. I mean, oh yeah, give a Silverhand recruit +1 and taunt, so taunt matters. I think these things are really nice things. So I think the Paladin archetype is something to try out, and something maybe I'll take a look at. I did not expect these. I did not know what I expected for Paladin, but I think these are real nice buffs. They're trying to make the dude style work, and it seems like a really nice change. Edwin and Sprint, I did not expect these. Sprint going from 6 to 5, it's crazy. I think this is a very reasonable. Remember back prep, card draw was a lot more inefficient back in the day, and prep was 3. This seems reasonable. This Edwin buff is very questionable. I'm not the only person to think this is, I did not see this coming. I would have buffed some of the terrible cards of Rogue from this expansion, and not the already very good Edwin card that already has the broken Shadow Step interaction. So if you saw my last video, this deck's going to be broken. This is an incredibly strong buff, I'd say. So yeah, it's I did not expect this. Yeah, just being able to get 1 more card, massive. So yeah, and then Silverleaf Poison down to 1 mana. I think this is a reasonable. It's draw 2, but draw 2 for 1 mana, but you have to equip it on your weapon, so there's a little bit of downside. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but this card is maybe just now you probably just run it in regular rogue list. So definitely a very card because 1 mana, draw 2 in your weapon. I think very efficient. So and then we have Hat Trick. So let me read this one. If you control a secret, store is soul of it inside it. It resummons a trigger. New stealth. Oh, so it has stealth now. So this allows you to kind of keep it stealth and keep getting the effect down. That is actually a lot more reliable, because if your opponent doesn't have stealth, you can just keep waiting to get your secret and then trade it off, kind of like Rat King. This seems a lot more playable now. So, something to try out. And maybe, secrets are generally bad, but there are some strong secret synergies, and maybe this is enough to carry it. So next we got, for Warrior, we got Sigwin Dust, deal 1 damage to a minion, give it +2 attack. +2 attack, pretty good. But still, the sort of whole enrage archetype seems pretty terrible. But you can use this as a ping, and giving +2 attack. If it was +2 attack and rush, because you think the beast one gives your minion +2 attack, it doesn't damage it. So I'm not sure. The fact you get 3 uses, maybe it sees some marginal play, but obviously stronger. But I'm not seeing this as anything game breaking. Next we got Infuse X. It was after your hero attacks, give your damage minions +1/+1. Infuse 3. New after your hero attacks, give your damage minions +1/+2. And so the infuse is the same, but it's cheaper, and the base effect is better. So that's good efficiency. In an efficiency deck, that matters. So next we got Cruel Taskmaster. 2 credit Taskmaster, 2/2, going up 2/3. Feels very reasonable in Hearthstone in 2022. That being said, I don't think the Enrage archetype is going to be good, but these are nice buffs. And so finally we've got Tidal Revenant and Shield Shatter. These kind of nerfs are getting just reverted. I think these nerfs were too much. And I think the Shield Shatter, you know, without the mana cheating, it's not going to be as good. And then we've got Bash to 2 mana. This is insane. This is really, really good. And Slam at 1. So now, while Warrior might not have the mana cheating efficiency of from the depths at 4 as well, the control tools look absolutely insane with these 4 cards. So I expect Control Warrior of some type to likely make an archetype now. Make a comeback now. Value and mid-range is insane right now, but that being said, this looks really, really strong. So I expect Warrior to make a nice comeback. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys on the sort of nerfs, as much of battleground stuff. But yeah, so I'll see you guys on the ladder. And yeah, I think these are really, really good buffs. The Snowball Guardian, I'm a little bit sad about, but you know, it was a very tough deck to nerf. Some people are saying Macaw. I didn't have an easy answer myself. Maybe I'd like to see Snowball Guardian go back down to 5 mana. If it is freeze all minions, I think that would be reasonable. So anyways, I hope to see you guys on the ladder. Talk to you later.